What's up? Listen, I know you got a lot going on. I got a lot going on. Everybody's got a lot going on. And most people don't have time or the attention span to listen to what I have to say. But I hope that these words do find you. And I hope that they resonate with you. And I'm just going to try to apply some logic and reasoning to things outside of all the chaos that's happening around us all the time, and just the constant pursuit of, what am I going to wear, where am I going to go, what am I going to eat, how am I going to be entertained, whatever. The world's full of all those things, but there's more to life than these things. And I just want to say right off the bat, I'm not a preacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm not a Jew. I'm not a Muslim. I'm not any religion, okay? Religious systems are something that I regularly speak against because they're prisons for our minds. They really, truly are. As are a lot of things. As are lots of different labels and boxes of political parties and all this different stuff. I just want to talk to you about this idea of, very, very powerful, influential people throughout history tried to convince us all, trust the science and, God is dead and all this stuff. Okay, that's fine. What's interesting is when you learn what they believe, even though they keep it secret. They secretly believe things that they don't tell you, and they do see you as worthless cattle, fodder. They can justify lying to you in their belief system, in their sacred writings. But just stop. And today's actually a sunny day, and it's been not the case here for a while. I'm in the Pacific Northwest, but I've lived in a lot of different places, and there's beauty everywhere in nature, in creation. In fact, if most of this stuff is left alone, and we, man, are taken out of the equation, it flourishes, it prospers, it does very well. It does very well. We have a tendency to muck things up, and you don't have to search very far in your data bank of people you've met and had experiences with that are just really rotten, really selfish, really greedy, really lying, manipulating, backstabbing, hurt people, break hearts, all that stuff. It's it's difficult to find people who truly know how to care for one another and to want what's best for their fellow man. There are people out there that are like that. And there are people out there that are like that have all these different belief systems, but I think generally there's something there that they cling to that's like, this place is not just a random cosmic accident. It's not like trillions or hundreds of billions or whatever they say anymore. For all I know, they say 666 billion years ago. They got a lot of those weird things in their science, but nothing just exploded into everything, right? The point of singularity. How the heck does nothing explode? Why do we believe that nonsense? That is like the stupidest thing. That is the stupidest thing that anyone could tell you, is that nothing compacted itself all together into this little boom, everything Really? Like, I mean, the eye. How amazing is the eye and complex? And did it evolve like that? So then, what was it like when it didn't quite work right? It didn't have a lens, it couldn't focus, and whatever. You know what I mean? Lungs, or blood, how it exchanges oxygen, or fish, how they breathe. Well, the things we're trying to figure out how to evolve, how did they survive? Seriously, it's kind of stupid. I think we have to start there. We have to just be willing to admit that the people that have been feeding us this stuff are liars. And why wouldn't we know that they're liars? Have they lied to us about money? Is the Federal Reserve even a government? It's not even a federal agency. It's a private central bank. It's owned by people who take advantage of everyone else by being deceitful, and they're very, very profitable at it. And all the money that's printed comes with debt. So the more money they print, the more debt there is. That can't be, there's no way around that when you have fractional reserve banking. It's cool if you don't know what that is. I've looked into it. It's basically when they say, like, you only have to hold 10% of whatever you loan out. So if they got $100, they can lend out $1,000. And they don't have to have the $1,000 to lend. Once they have 1,000, they can lend out 10,000. They only have to have a fraction in reserve for what they lend. That's fractional reserve banking, lending. Wish I knew what you were going to do, lady. Running a red light on your bicycle. I guess that's okay. Good thing I'm looking out. Well, anyway, they lie about that. You know, they lied to us about different foods that are healthy, or different drugs that people take, prescription drugs. How many class action lawsuits are there? But they said it was okay, right? You know? Oh my gosh, how many lies did we all just go through from 2020 till now? A lot. We're starting to see it. Oh my gosh, like crazy, right? I mean, people are still politicians that are not, they're not doing a good job. Let's just say that. They're not doing a good job, but there they are. Or lawyers that aren't doing a good job to look out for the people. They might be doing a good job to look out for a corporation, which is not a person, by the way. Everyone knows that. But guess what? By definition in the law, it is. It is considered a person. How freaking crazy is that? Why are we letting these people tell us everything, like how we're supposed to live our life? And you know what? If you're out there and you're like, man, I hate religions, all I can say is, like, I'm on to that. Or agreed. I agree. You know? Because so do I. So I'm not going to try to steer you into any of those. No, I'm not going to do that. That's not what I'm about. But I do believe that there is a maker of all this stuff, and that he doesn't like these people that are lying to us and ruling over us and being tyrants and bloodsuckers. He doesn't like them. And neither do you, and neither do I. So we got common ground to stand right on, to start out. Boom. Common ground. Because we need a means to exchange money. Yeah, we need some kind of means to exchange. But we don't have to pay a private entity to print money that the government itself is. We have to fix the government, but it's capable of printing it already, and it can all be backed by actual tangible assets like gold and silver. We can still use a paper as a form of exchange because it's accepted by the people as the means, but it's backed by something solid. You know, that's critical stuff. The amount of money that we pay for land or rent or any of that stuff is completely out of control. This monster is out of control. The ones who own everything, the bankers and all that stuff, they're dictating they're driving all the prices. They're creating all the inflation. We have wicked leaders within all the different governments of the world. You know, all the academic institutions are more than happy to preach from textbooks that are full with inaccuracies. When we go and actually study history, we find that there's a lot of the things that they've been saying and telling us that aren't true. It's not really how it went down, but it's all a form of like top-down control. Top-down control. And we're at the bottom. I'm talking to you because we're at the bottom. I'm not, trust me, I'm not going to be able to convince the people at the top. The people at the top have already signed themselves over to blood oaths, secrets and promises that will cost them. They can't. It's like that song, that Hotel California. You can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave. They can never leave. You can't leave. You know, and I want to see a form of justice and vengeance for those people who have been exploiting us, and especially children who are very defenseless, you know, and we're struggling to protect and care for them for the most part because we're in a system where almost like everybody has to work. So then you have to just trust your children to go into the hands of some other people that you actually know are they're full of it. They're full of it. You know, we're all financial slaves. We're all slaves to debt. Even people who are established and have, you know, their 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, white picket fence, whatever, they have all that stuff. They have a mortgage, and you know, if they don't pay it, they're out. And they're, like they'll say, you're one catastrophical event from being homeless. One medical, you know, if you don't have all the right kind of coverage and all that, which is another thing. You think these insurance companies are having a hard time making profits? They make a bunch of money off of us. They make a boatload of money off of us. And they have politicians in their back pocket who create all the policies that enable them to enrich themselves. Same thing with bankers. It doesn't have to be this way, but it is this way. But I guess what my point is to say is that if you want to go around and say, well, I don't believe in anything because you want to reject the stuff that they try to feed you, I can understand why you don't want to choke down their religious stuff. But understand that the powerful elites that are at the top have a belief system and a brotherhood of their own. I don't think they care at all what you believe in, as long as you don't believe in the truth, right? And as long as they can still continue to operate in secret, even though they'll clearly use their different symbols, their handshakes, even hand gestures, hand signs, all this stuff. They do all this stuff, but for the most part, the masses are completely asleep to it, completely oblivious to it. And a lot of more people waking up to it, and people will be very willing to say, yeah, I believe that there's a devil, because there's some wicked stuff going on up in here. There's some crazy, wicked stuff. But then I think that shouldn't that automatically make us think, well, hang on a second, then doesn't that also mean that there's a light side, a side that's pure and righteous, and that is love? And we all know there is. We all know there is. Why do we want to suppress that? Why do we not want to accept that? Because we actually like doing what we want to do. We're like Napoleon Dynamite. I'm going to do what I want to do. Gosh, don't tell me what to do. Don't try to, you know. Well, guess what? You don't want anybody like me to tell you what the Creator says to do, but you're going to go ahead and do what these wicked Luciferians tell you what to do, like paying your taxes, getting your fishing license, I don't know, you got to pay money, you got to get a certificate when you're born, you got to get some kind of a document when you die, when you get married, oh, you want to get a divorce, you got to get this thing, Everybody, this is like what people, you got a speeding ticket, you got to pay your speeding ticket. If you don't pay your speeding ticket, you're going to get a fine, or you're going to go to jail, or whatever. And so they're doing all the stuff that these people are telling them to do, but we're like, don't tell me what to do. Maybe it's because we're tired of being told what to do by them. Maybe that's why you don't want anybody else telling you what to do, is because you already got way too much crap that you got to do because of these jokers. Maybe. Think about it, man. It's crazy. It really is crazy. And, to believe that they're just so smart and they got it all figured out. They're really crafty at lying, at being deceivers, Very, very crafty at stuff like that. Very crafty at creating conflicts between nations in the world so that they can war with one another. And then you find out, that they have this treaty together, this Antarctic treaty. 56 countries of the world are all in on it. Or they're in the space station together. But they're like gonna go ahead and send their blood and treasure, send young men off to fight and die. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. I'm telling you right now, and you probably know this, behind the scenes, they go off to parties together. They go to Bohemian Grove or whatever, right? They go to their events with Klaus Schwab in Switzerland, and they fly on their private jets, and they're in a big club and we ain't in it. And then they want to give us the impression that there's all this turmoil and there's all this because they need to keep us in a perpetual state of fear so that we can be more easily controllable. They put fluoride in your water. And you think it's because it makes your teeth healthy, right? But if you do a little bit of research, turn off the Netflix and whatever, that other entertainment for a second, and just look into some stuff that truly affects you and your kids if you got kids, and your grandkids if you're going to have grandkids. Knowledge is power, right? You can go look it up and you can find out that it's a neurotoxin, that it is a byproduct of my manufacturing process, possibly aluminum. I'd have to double check that. But either way, it comes in these giant drums with skull and crossbone on it. And you got different people. Not everybody puts it in their water, but some places really do. And around here in America and stuff, they do. Pour this drum of toxic chemicals into the water supply. And if you don't believe me and you're too lazy to go look it up, just at least go get your tube of toothpaste right now. Pause this or take it with you on your phone. Go get your tube of toothpaste. Check it out. Look on the back right there. It's going to tell you, if swallowed, contact poison control. Why would you need to do that? For toothpaste? I mean, come on. We eat worse stuff than that at McDonald's. If you eat at McDonald's, you should maybe look into that too. Why should these people get big fat hog rich by feeding you trash? And then try to tell you that they care about you? What a joke. It's absolutely a joke, guys. Why am I trying to tell you this? I don't even know who you are. Hopefully there's some people that I know that share this, but there's going to be people that are seeing this for the first time and like, who is this freaking wacko? Well, you know what? I'm just somebody who cares about you, who wants you to know that you're being lied to and deceived. And no, I'm not trying to steer you into any religious institution. I'm going to tell you not to go into any of those. All of them are 501c3s. That's their tax status with the government. That's, straight up. And they're not teaching you the truth. Many of the people that are in there believe that they're in the truth. But if you have been the type of person who's been irritated by that all this time, thinking, oh, this cramming this stuff down my neck and all that. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe there's actually a very positive reason why you have not wanted to receive that and become just another mind-controlled person in that program. You rejected that programming. Okay? All I'm telling you is don't reject that there is a whole other world outside of this matrix, Neo. You could take the red pill and you could come out, right? You knew something was wrong. It's like the video says, you knew something was wrong when you paid your taxes, when you went to vote. Think our votes are counting? I don't think our votes are counting, and now I think everybody kind of knows it, right? The leaders are selected. They're not elected. Remember that election back then when they had Bush and Kerry? They're both running, and they were both Skull and Bones, Secret Society, Yale 322. And the guys on the news and stuff would ask, oh, what does that mean? Well, I wish I could tell you, but it's a secret. I can't tell you. Man, if you ever do look into what they're all about, you're going to see it. It ain't wholesome. It ain't righteous. And a lot of the people that have ever been in big, powerful positions have sold themselves out in one way or another to these same institutions, just like in Hollywood. And yeah, I get it, man. People worship the stars. They love their different actors and the little stars. They just love those people. And then they don't realize that they're also all in a club together. And they had to do certain things to get where they are that would actually repulse a lot of us. I hope it would still repulse you. If it doesn't repulse you, then you're a little bit more far gone. But that's part of how it works. And they'll do these things on camera. And that's how they get them honeypotted. Because then you got to do basically what they say in order to continue in your position of fame and fortune, or else, they can threaten to out you, to expose you. Or they'll just assassinate your character in the media because they have control of all media. Sounds totally paranoid and conspiracy theories, huh? Well, guess what, man? All you got to do is just look up Mockingbird Media and you're going to see for yourself. Emails go out 4 o'clock in the morning. There's only like six entities that control all the news of the world. They get their emails in the morning and it's their talking points. And you'll see, if you go look up Mockingbird, I have a video on my BitChute channel, which is of the same name, Qadashayam of Yasharal. You can go check it out, Mockingbird Media, and you'll see all these talking heads, 20, 30 screens all at the same time saying the exact same thing. Because it's all scripted. They're all just actors. They're told what to tell you. That's propaganda. Propaganda is legal in our country and many countries around the world to control the masses. They just want to keep you dumbed down enough, keep you fluoridated, like we just talked about, keep you entertained with your movies and your sports and all that, so you don't want to ever listen to a guy like me. I'm on here now 23 minutes. If you listen this long, then I would just say hallelujah, there's great hope. Because most people are just going to turn it off. They're just going to turn it off, man. Hedonism is a philosophy that says eat, drink, and be merry. And you know what? For the most part, we're a hedonistic society without even knowing that that's our philosophy. That's just our practice. And people have said, oh, well, we're becoming a barbaric nation. But we're not. We're post-barbaric, man. We're post-barbaric. Is anybody out here listening to the sound of my voice ignorant enough to believe that baby inside that mama's tummy is not a miracle of life? I mean, I get it. You're going to take a political position and stance and do all the argumentation, but if you just sincerely ask yourself, because you know what? If you go to a zoo or something and you see mama deer or Mama, I don't know, something cute, koala bear with a little pudge there. They got the little thing going. The baby's inside, and they tell you, oh yes, she's due to deliver, any time in the next, 2 weeks or something. Everyone's like, oh, that's so precious. The life that's inside of that animal is indeed precious, but it's no less precious than the one that's inside of a human. But they've convinced us that it's healthy and caring to just end that thing, man. Just end it. That goes against all of our common sense and reason. If we're really, we gotta really be lying to ourselves, but just running away from the truth. Being like, I don't want to deal with that. It's not my decision. They can do whatever they want. That's what I mean when I say post-barbaric. Because, if a civilization wants to truly defend life, then they're not barbarians. But when a society actually profits off of that process, actually sells what's left for profit, that's a whole nother level, man. That's, like I said, that's post-barbaric. And why are we listening to these people? They're full of it. So full of lies, man. Obviously, this place is a miracle of creation. It's fearfully and wonderfully made. The mountains with the snow, the stars, everything, man. Parallax, coral reefs. You just go on and on with all this amazing, beautiful stuff. I look up the sky. I can look up there right now and I can see a bunch of stuff that came out of the back of planes. And then a couple hours after they get done, you really see it. It's all hazy and nasty. That's like what I was saying earlier. If you remove man from the equation, everything would be flourish and just beautiful. It don't look so great, what we do. I don't know, maybe some people, I know that there's a lot of people out there that really love big cities. And I guess they can just look away, look the other direction when they see, pollution or vandalism or whatever. That's the kind of stuff that you end up seeing. It isn't like some utopian thing like in a movie. And I hate to go to the big city over here. I seem like I go there and I see more and more people in tents. More and more people really struggling, man. It's getting out of control. It's difficult to survive. Everything is so expensive. And just take that and realize that people who were profiting off of your poverty are richer than they've ever been. They profit more now off of our pain than ever before. And they don't want anybody to step up and start telling people the truth that it could be better. That we deserve better. That we were made for much, much more than this. I think that's why we've seen a lot of different people who've been assassinated, because they had a voice. People listened to them. They had a platform. And they started to say things that were a threat to the powers that be. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie Animal Farm, or read the book about Animal Farm. But if you ever do get a chance to check it out, there's this group of pigs that take over the farm. They run the man out and they're run the farm now. And they change their own laws. This is what happens with governments now. They change the laws so that they can enrich themselves and they can better themselves. And they just drive the whole thing down into the ground. And those are the symbol. Those are the symbol Yeah, so anyway, it's worth checking out, Animal Farm. All right, well, this is really all I was trying to do, is just maybe reach out to some people who are angry at churches, and I don't blame you one bit. Like I said, that's not what I'm about. That's not what I would ever try to steer you to, but I do want you to understand that there is a maker, that there is a creator, and that we do deserve better than this, and there is more to this life than what we have right now. And so I do hope that this message finds you well, and if you ever want to know more or have questions, reach out to me. Shoot me an email. It's always in the description of the videos on the channel, and you can find me at Qadashayam of Yasharal on Facebook and on YouTube. Shalom. Every man-made religious system in the world enslaves the hearts and minds of men with false teachings and false doctrines. Praise be to Yahuah, who's raised up his remnant in this day, the Qadashayam of Yashar'Al, to once again walk in the old ways, to understand the living word by the power of Ruach Hakodesh. Come, join us as we walk in the way, the truth, and the life. Praise be to our King, Yahusha HaMashiach.